This next question comes from AngelWorks, and it's about the future of Paramount Animation. What do you think of Paramount's future for the animation department in theaters after Wonder Park, and also with John Lasseter now being involved? Over the past number of years, Paramount has been trying to build their own animation division, although it's been a rocky road. They hit the ground running with the second SpongeBob movie, but each film since then has suffered delays, dismal box office, and less than positive critical reception. Paramount also seems rather conservative with the labeling, putting it on the hybrid feature Monster Trucks and the MGM production Sherlock Gnomes. I admit to being rather underwhelmed by the films released under Paramount Animation thus far, including Wonder Park. The label has gone through a number of creative personnel changes since the division was announced, so there does not seem to be a clear sense of direction. It is worth pointing out that the current president, Muriel Soria, only came to the studio less than 2 years ago, so none of the films that have been released were greenlit under her supervision. In fact, Paramount Pictures itself was being run by Brad Grey when those projects were announced, so we have not seen current head Jim Giannopoulos' stamp on Paramount Animation yet. They seem pretty intent on continuing with the label, which is good. The tricky part comes with choosing which projects to pursue. The hardest part about being a movie studio chief is trying to predict what audiences will want to see in 2 years. And with animated films, you have to look even further into the future, as they typically take about 3 to 4, sometimes more, years to make. Wonder Park started production in 2014, for instance. Looking ahead, they have some promising projects on the horizon. Monster on the Hill is a movie about monster wrestling, which is an intriguing premise, and Paramount recently announced a fantasy film titled The Tiger's Apprentice, based on the book series by Lawrence Yep. Paramount is unsurprisingly also relying on pre-existing IP. There is a third SpongeBob movie set for next year, which is a prequel to the events of the series. The upcoming Sonic the Hedgehog movie is also being released under the Paramount Animation label. I know a lot of people have already made up their minds about the movie, even though we have not gotten a good look at Sonic's design. I do think Paramount needs to control these fake leaks. Maybe release a trailer already? That would be nice. And they're making a Clifford the Big Red Dog movie, which was originally being produced by Illumination. Meanwhile, there's a distribution deal with Skydance Animation, which has gotten into a bit of hot water for hiring John Lasseter. If Lasseter sticks around, their upcoming projects may not be released under the Paramount Animation name, as Muriel Soria has already said her division will stop working with Skydance. Emma Thompson also publicly dropped out of Skydance's animated film Luck because of Lasseter being on board. As I said earlier, I have not liked any of the Paramount Animation films released so far, but that does not mean I never will. They're certainly trying their best, and I'm excited for the day I finish watching one of their movies and I walk out thinking positively about it. With Soria now in charge of greenlighting projects, along with her vice president, Ramsey Nato, the division may finally have a set leadership, and they seem to be moving ahead with an interesting mix of original and franchise properties. I also would like to see them try and do more than just the usual animated family movies seen from Hollywood studios. Back in the 90s, Paramount was even the rare major studio that attempted to distribute adult animated films, with the likes of Baby's Kids, Cool World, Beavis and Butthead Do America, and the South Park movie. While admittedly a mixed bag of films, they at least tried to not follow in Disney's footsteps with their animated projects, which was common at the time. Sony proved there is a willing audience with Sausage Party, and they now have Genndy Tartakovsky directing an adult animated film at the studio. There's one last request I want to direct towards you, the viewer. Try not to make fun of Paramount. There's a strange need from people to always have a studio punching bag, but constantly pointing and laughing does not help anyone. Instead, I will offer my support and wish them luck in the future. I'm rooting for you, Paramount Animation, and thank you, AngelWorks, for this question.